Adults of Reddit, what is something that sucks about being an adult that most teenagers don't realize? The adult part. The moment you need to pay for everything and the realization that fresh food spoils faster than you ever noticed before was eye-opening. Honestly. I swear I buy a thing of strawberries and they expire the next day. It's goddamn criminal. Edit. Today I learned everyone knows how to keep strawberries fresh but me. Mushrooms. I basically would have to start cooking, pause to go purchase the mushrooms, then resume making the dish if I don't want a fetid funk factory that I throw directly into the trash. I should try throwing $3 into the trash next time. Cut out the middleman. For me, it's watching my parents get old. As a teenager, I thought they were all about keeping me restricted and controlled. Now I realize they're just two people who never had a kid before, did the best they knew how, and effed up at times like all other humans on the planet. I never realized how much I needed them emotionally until I saw my father through his open heart surgery, and saw Parkinson's take my mother's independence. So here I am still feeling like a teenager on the inside, staring down the barrel of 50, wondering what the hell happened. Edit. Thank you for the awards, heart. Yeah, starting to relate to your parents as people in their own right rather than just your parents is such a weird switch. You start seeing things in context. They didn't drive you to that party because they were absolutely knackered from work, not because they wanted to ruin your life. They didn't give you the cash for that new outfit because they needed to budget in the car's insurance renewal that month, etc., etc. My dad's dad died when he was very young, and it took me a long time to realize that sometimes when he effed up it was because he didn't actually have a father figure growing up, and he didn't really know how to be a dad and was kind of figuring things out as he went along. One day, my mother was giving me a lift home from university and helping me move some possessions. My grandfather was in his late 80s. And they'd had a brief row over something. It's important to note that they are very close and this was highly unusual for them. And it was nothing major, just the sort of conversation that leaves you rolling your eyes, muttering patience to yourself, gritting your teeth and wondering why doesn't this incredibly sensible person get that? Can't remember for the life of me what it was over. He'd said something cantankerous that was irritating and a little selfish in the way that some older people can occasionally be. And she vented for a short time, letting off some steam. I was in my 20s, finishing university. And it was the first time I think that I'd been in a position with my parents to relate to a fellow adult and about adult problems, rather than be the kid they tried not to burden. Watching everybody around me get old is what gets me. Grandparents passing away, parents getting less mobile, my dog getting older way too fast. People tell you how fast time goes when you're growing up, but can't prepare you for the way you blink at 25 and open your eyes back up and suddenly you're in your 30s. Absolutely. My dad died 5 years ago, he was only 63, and it broke me a bit. I felt smaller and less real somehow. I can't not think about the fact that my mom is getting older. We have dementia on both sides of the family and I will absolutely hate seeing my mom that way. I still need her and have no idea what life will be like, or how I will do it, without her, but I know I will be smaller still. Sorry you're going through a tough time, buddy. Hope things brighten up for you. It just sucks. So bad. For real, if you are a teen, enjoy having parents that are not old. Do as much with them in your 20s and 30s if possible. Make memories, take pictures, all that stuff. I am going to be 33 in November, my dad will turn 82, my mom's 70 next year. It feels like yesterday that I was a kid. You can count your friends on one hand, and most of those have been grandfathered in. It's not just that it's more difficult to make friends, but you're also less willing to keep people in your life that don't add value. Hit 30 and you'll be ready to light some bridges on fire. Discipline is very hard to maintain when you are lacking purpose. When you are a teenager, there's so much you think you can achieve. I'll get into that college. I'll get that degree. I'll land that cool job after. I'll date that person who will fulfill me. However, what happens when those things fail and you have to readjust? What if the idea of progress turns into an idea of just sustainment? My advice to teenagers: the most important thing you need to work towards figuring out as you enter into early adulthood is your purpose. It can change over time, of course, but never be without it. But what happens when those things fail? And you have to readjust. And the idea of progress turns into an idea of just a sustainment? Alternatively, what happens when you do all those things and realize you're still not fulfilled? That's when you realize you truly made it to adulthood. I guess I'll just wait to die now. And in the same vein, when you're younger, there are a lot of external motivators and goals are provided for you. Your path through life tends to be more on rails, which makes progress seem kind of inevitable. You go to school, you advance through the grades on a set schedule. You apply to college. That externally set life schedule starts breaking down a bit in college and is gone completely once you graduate, and that is a hard adjustment for a lot of people because the first 20 or so years of your life train you to expect things to happen on a schedule. Things happen on a combination of you setting your own schedule and making it happen, and things completely outside of your control making things happen or preventing things from happening with little warning and no predictable timing. It is weird. In college now and realizing after this there's no real plan per se. I don't want kids, so I don't need to worry about setting up for that. It's just whatever I decide. I could stay in town with friends, I could move to a new city, I could live on the road for a few years, hell, I can literally just run away with the circus. It's a good thing, all the freedom, but still such a hard thing to wrap your head around when your whole life has been decided for you. I'm nearly 40 and still haven't found my purpose. That's part of my problem. I have no idea where to start, nor the funds to give it a go either. I never found my purpose. Just started working for a big company early on and pushed myself towards the jobs I found least distasteful. My joy comes with my family and my hobbies. I will probably die without knowing what it was that I wanted to do. Always felt bad growing up when people would tell me to find my purpose and do what you love to do. Lots of guilt that nothing ever appealed to me so much that I wanted to do it for the rest of my life. Whatever. Doesn't matter anymore. As it turns out, all I really wanted was a quiet life with no worries and plenty of freedom. I got that. Along these lines, your purpose doesn't have to be centered around your job. And your job doesn't define everything about you. In fact, for most of us it probably shouldn't be your job. People take different roads seeking fulfillment and happiness. Just because they're not on your road doesn't mean they've gotten lost. Dalai Lama. Planning dinner every damn night. I convinced my wife that we should just stick to like 4 recipes and then go nuts on a pizza once a week or make a special dinner on Saturday or Sunday. Totally simplified our even meal preparation. There's never enough time for all the things you need to do. Definitely not enough time for the things you want to do. I would add to this that even if you have the hours in the day, you still won't have the time because it takes energy and motivation to do things, and sometimes you just don't have enough of that either. When I was a kid, I wanted a magic stopwatch to stop time and do whatever I wanted. As an adult, I think of using that magic stopwatch, but for taking naps throughout the day without interrupting my workflow. I work from home now due to COVID. 15 minutes coffee break is now nap break. The repetition makes you lose time. Having the same job, workout regimen, schedule in general makes days blend into one another. Edit, autocorrect. Should have said workout instead of without. Bland to blend. Regime to regiment, to regime. My God, did I spell anything correctly? Edit. Thanks for all the replies. I just want to point out I didn't mean life becomes boring. I was just talking about lack of those major separators we had as children, like summer vacation, new school, your first kiss, etc. Due to those major separators missing, I don't recall if I did something a year ago or 3 years ago. It's a little blurry if something happened 2 weeks ago or 4 months ago. This is because once you have a career and a home, you're doing a lot of similar things most days: work, chores, cooking, hobbies, etc. This is why the days start to blend into one another, at least in your memory. When days turn into weeks that glide into months, I will try to introduce some variation to my scheduling. It becomes an interesting day when I get home via a different route. Otherwise, I'll just burn out. Days drag, but the months fly by. It's effing October. October WTF. Nah, the shutdown started March 13th and that was like 6 weeks ago, so it's beginning to middle of May. Right? Exactly this. Somehow these months simultaneously felt like a few weeks, and, Seriously, like maybe 2 or 3 years. So much has happened. So little has happened. Thanks. I hate it. This. I'd have to dig to find it, but there is neurological evidence to back this up. If you want to live longer, i.e., the years to go by more slowly, then you have to diversify and learn new things. Read more, experiment, challenge yourself. Mix it up. Whenever I feel too tired or afraid of trying something new, I remind myself of this. This has been the hardest part of the pandemic, in particular. I swear July was last week. You are always cleaning the kitchen. Never ends, does it? Sometimes 3 times a day if it's been busy. FFS. 3 times a year if you're my roommate. My condolences. Dishes, dishes, dishes. I feel like doing dishes never ends. Just me and my wife, and often we exclaim, how the hell can 2 people generate so many dirty dishes over so short a time? Same here. I would have the sink spotless in the morning, and by the evening it's like a family of 6 just dumped their plate and it's just my wife and I. Looks at kitchen. And if you aren't, you should be. Always doing laundry too. That ordering food is actually expensive, and your parents weren't lying to you. Those Cokes you guys ordered were $3 each, and there's 5 of you. That's $15 just in soft drinks, and we could have bought 3 12-packs for that. Next time everybody's getting water. No joke. I now only order water at restaurants. We have food in the house is always the most responsible decision. I still hear that from my wife all the time. OP, I want to eat your ass, wife, we have food in the house. Canned ass is hardly an adequate substitute. Ordering food once a month? Fine. Ordering foods multiple times a week, actually ruinous to a budget. So many adults can't understand this concept. Like, okay? Fast food meal costs $5 to $10? Okay, but if you are doing that twice a day every day, that's $70, $140 a week on crap food. I have 3 kids. It costs us $60 to eat at Chipotle without drinks. We order out at least twice a month, but holy crap does it add up fast. Vacations seem cheap until you factor in feeding 5 people for a week at restaurants. Oh my god, yes. Our favorite place is Waffle House because it's so inexpensive. Half of the cost of almost every sit-down restaurant, and the same price as a fast food place but better food. With 2 boys, one preteen and the other that we have nicknamed Trash Can, I need more places like Waffle House. You can do whatever you want, but most of the time you either have commitments that prevent it, or you can't afford it. You can do whatever you want, but you don't feel like it anymore. If teenage me knew that 40-year-old me has a virtual reality headset I almost never use, he'd cut our dick off out of spite. Edit. Reddit gold is a waste of money. I feel this. Edit. Yes, Reddit gold is a waste of money. Real gold, however. Me too. Like, I've got it, I like using it, it's just tiring. Don't have the energy to set all that crap up. I'd rather just sit and blankly stare at the wall after work. Too tired to do anything, don't want to sleep because then it'll be morning again. Waiting for the weekend and wishing the weeks away one by one. The adult experience. Edit. A lot of people seem to identify with this. If this sounds like you, you should know this comes from a place of diagnosed depression, and you should consider the possibility that you have a similar disorder. Your struggles are legitimate and not resolved with simple solutions. They should not be lightly compared to others. If you are in the pit right now and would like concrete suggestions to start pulling yourself out, my advice to you is, web link. Don't want to sleep because then it'll be morning again. I've never heard a more accurate description of that feeling. Then once you're asleep you don't want to wake up because dreams are better than reality. Even though February is the shortest month, the rent is still the same. Yeah, but if you're salaried the paycheck doesn't have to last as long. I make like 10% more per day in February. You come home from work and you're tired, and if you don't feel like making dinner, then you're not eating dinner. This, seriously. I was not prepared for how much of a pain in the ass it was going to be to keep myself fed throughout the day. Like, how does everyone manage it? Make bulk of something one night. Eat it the next 3 days. Unless you have kids too. Then you have to make dinner, and be in an upbeat mood, even though everything sucks. Only to have at least one of them not like something about it. What's for dinner? Free food, what are you bitching about? Wow, was just curious, thanks butthole. Looks like it's sleep for dinner again, edit, despite the double for this has been my most upvoted comment. Thanks everyone. Currently about to have this exact meal. All my favorite dish. Or drinking water to feel full. I had a few nights a week where I'd just graze on small things every few hours versus making a proper meal. Make a plate of cheese and crackers, have an apple, eat a small bowl of chips, make peanut butter on toast, 2 cookies. Okay, that's enough I guess. I wasn't really saving any time, but sometimes you are so tired, you can't coordinate your brain to decide or know what you want. I eat an energy bar and call it a day. Or overpriced fast food. I'll also add to this the family obligations of spending time with your spouse and kids. Your kids don't care that you're exhausted from work, they just want to spend time with their mom/dad. One day your body will betray you. Edit, this blew up faster than my kneecap. I hurt my back from bending over in an awkward position to brush my wife's hair. And sometimes from the stuff you did as a teenager. I'm looking at you, arthritis and concussions. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube. And share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.